Hello mortals, welcome back to the series. Today's episode is basically just me finishing up the base of the house and I believe doing some work on the tower. So that's all you should really expect from this video. I hope you enjoy and have a good day. Alright, so fun fact. I have that little note in the beginning. Oh my. My throat's not doing well. I have that little note in the beginning because it was recorded on PlayStation, but something I noticed, like, just in a little bit, I realized, hold on. Mouse, why aren't you working? Anyway, something I realized that my voice sounds a lot more clearer than it would on recording VPC. So potentially for future videos, I will do that instead, which makes it easier and sounds better, though I could be entirely wrong in that it's super loud and just all of a sudden. And there's your artwork being performed outside. At least it's sunny out now, unlike that one time where it was cloudy and they did lawn mowing. So as I said in the intro, you'll basically be seeing finishing up the house and building what you see in the intro. Of course, there's some stuff that I improve upon, things that I change throughout building it. But yeah, it's basically just me finishing up the mere base of it and setting up shop inside, I believe. This entire video could just be finishing the build. But hey, that's what the series is about. It's about me making the house. For the roof design, I had planned on a really cool idea about, like, it'll have, you know, a typical V-shaped roof, and then at the top it'll just go straight up a little bit, and then it'll look like a really cool quote-unquote modern house. Along with the tower. So I was really excited to start building on it with all the materials I have and things. Here I am getting more snow so that I can cover that back little area with it, so I don't have to worry about it nor deal with it. One thing I always enjoy about grabbing snow is trying to make the last of it look natural, rather than you can very clearly see that I used the snow, or stole the snow. I enjoy trying to make it look natural, because I'm gonna be honest, I actually forgot I did that right there. So it's just there. And now I'm stuck. Oh yeah, I did have another idea, or I don't know if I remembered it, or if I thought of it here or not, is that this little area right here would become another little elevated plane. And I thought it would be really cool to have an enchantment book little area up here. Unfortunately, it's not that big, so the enchantment area is like down under Australia. Anyway. But I thought it would be really cool to try and do something like that. Yeah, it's around here where I started thinking, nope, that's not around there. Where is it? Okay, well then I'm talking crap. I'm lying to you. I never did that. Nope, never. He never once had that idea. It was all in his head. He never had it. You can really tell how blank that wall is. I do actually do that. I don't know when I do that. But that wall does look so blank without that little thing that I was just talking about, which you'll see because I'm pretty sure I do it. I could be lying to you. I'm pretty sure I'm not. Gaslighting the audience into thinking I actually did it. What's that noise? I don't know what that noise is. Pretty sure it's a road sweeper. In which case, yay, that's gonna be long and loud and distracting for me. Probably not for you, because I've noticed that it really doesn't pick up on this. It could be because it's facing the entirely opposite way. I'm always tired during this stuff. Why must I always be tired? I don't like always being tired. It's annoying. You can see me contemplate here about making a window, because I thought it would be a little nice to make in-roof windows. It is a street sweeper. I was about to say stone sweeper. And I fell. Good job, past me. You suck. Man, I really don't have any subjects to talk about right now. I'm tired. I'm rubbing my eyes. I'm yawning. Not a good thing. Not good in the least. God. I'm very curious on what else I could do. What other things would anybody want to see? The only unfortunate thing is that a lot of games that I would absolutely love to record and put out into the world are games I've already played through. Like Hogwarts Legacy, well, I really had to blank on any other game I played. Damn. Oh, Just Cause 4. You know, older games like those. I did a little while record some lone Helldiver experience, but I stopped doing that when it was invaded. When Super Earth was invaded, I went to go serve that and didn't record that. And then soon after Super Earth was invaded, I started actually going into public matches and serving with random people. Played with John Helldiver once. That was actually a really nice experience. I couldn't believe it when that happened, but it did, and it was fun. Other than that, Helldivers is really fun. However, I don't play it solo anymore because, well, it's kind of hard to do level 8 missions on solo. I did for a little bit. I played a few, not by choice, but a few solo missions with the Terminids. And then recently I started a solo mission for the automatons who are invading Super Earth cities. Mega cities. But again, no one joined until halfway through when it was a little desperate for, or I was a little desperate for reinforcements. One thing I do notice about Helldivers is that it feels, so for some context, whilst I do play Minecraft, I also enjoy another game called Battlefield 1. If any of you know that game, do you know how impactful it may have been to the gaming industry? And I love it because it was so unique and different, and I started playing it back when Battlefield 5, I don't know, became popular or something. I started playing it in like 2020 or 2021, and it's been really fun. But something I noticed if you go on online matches is that everyone is super silent, which is something I don't complain about, because, you know, silence, you want to be immersed in yourself into this war. You don't really want to hear other people talking about really anything, which is why I constantly mute people that I hear. I say that because majority of them don't know that their mic is on. It's just some background noise and things. But I mute them nonetheless so that I can enjoy gaming. One thing I noticed about Helldivers, though, is that it's kind of the same thing where nobody, or at least in my experience, I could be entirely wrong. Like, there's a few people who have been talking, and it's really enjoyable to have good conversing teammates. I can't say anything because I don't talk often. I should. I've been wanting to, just haven't found the courage. But it's something I noticed, like, oh, it's Helldivers. People are going to talk, and I get to actually be a part of conversations and help, and it's just been not that. Like, given that I'm on a console, it's an absolute pain to type and text. Sometimes I accidentally randomly type, you know, single word messages without realizing it because I'm struggling to get out of typing. But that is something I noticed, is that a lot of people talk during Helldivers because we're focused on the mission. Whereas in Battlefield 1, you're focused on the war. I guess it's a little bothersome because, you know, the game requires you to be at least somewhat communicative, and half the time you're not. Like, of course, you're going to have subtle messages like thank yous, yeses, nos, and all that sort of things, marking locations. But I was really excited to actually start talking to people. I've only gotten like 2 effective communicators. I friended one. I haven't seen him since, though. And unfortunately, I was mute, so he doesn't know that I talk. Then again, I don't know when the next time I'll actually talk is. I'm hoping sometime. Perhaps after this I'll play Helldivers again and try and actually be a good teammate in communicating. Here I am trying to make a little porch, but I realized that the vision in my head, I didn't want the porch to go all the way across because it would look a little odd in my mind. So I only had it to around here, and later, because look at how small it is, it's very small, very sad. Later I expand that quite a bit so that there's actually room to enjoy the space rather than a little area where nothing is there. Yeah, because look at how small that is. You don't really want that on a porch. You want to enjoy a porch. You don't want it to be super small and tightly packed. Oh yeah, that was an interesting fade cut. I did not realize that. There's a cut here because I believe I had forgotten to actually record some part, and I can't find it, so you're just getting a cut to me chopping down a tree. But the house progress is still the same, it's just me later getting wood, because I had none. That's why I stopped and didn't record. I think that's literally it. I stopped, didn't record, went to here, and then just waited until the sun came up, and, you know, waited for the trees to grow. Because I needed wood. There I am looking for anything I missed. God, I'm having such... I realize I'm having a lot of voice cracks. It could be because it's early morning, I haven't had any food or water. Which is idiotic of me. I'm doing great, how could you tell? No. Idiotic of me not getting anything for energy-wise and me just doing straight to this. Sooner or later, my mouth is going to be dry or something. Don't know what to talk about now. Some nice tree work here. Very peaceful. I can't hear it because I can't have the music from this overlap the music from... What? Hold on. I can't have the audio from the computer overlap with the audio from the game. There we go. That's... yeah. I'm freaking tired. For some reason, it's that permatard condition I was talking about. My oldest son, he lied. He in fact hated it. He hated it so much that he wanted it gone. But he knew if it was gone, then the world would cease to exist. The only way he could stand the sun is by going to somewhere. For the sun is useful in its own right. It can provide marvelous beauties. Things the natural human could never see. He lied. But the sun is really annoying in the fact that it is very hot. Due to global warming reasons, the sun is very hot. And why is the sun hot? Wow. Even when I try to monologue, I mess up the simple language of English. The sun is very hot because of global warming. And global warming makes the warm weeks. Try to do a monologue, mess up because, can't speak English. Love not being able to do that. I think it's funny how I constantly forget that the trees don't grow at night. Like, in the midst of it, I'm like, why aren't these trees growing? Either that or I do realize that I'm just looking around for them to grow in the daytime. Something that was disappointing when I was making that tree farm is that it's out of the render distance of what can be on, so I have to manually go over there, wait for the trees to grow, and then harvest them. And there really isn't much. I should put something there for me to do. That's what I need to do. Next time. Sometime. I don't know. I still, after this house, I don't really know what else to do in this world. So I'm just blank on everything ever since I started this series. And eventually, I'm gonna run out of things to do for it. That's the lie. I'm gonna run out of pre-recorded recordings. Because then the series will end, and I will not know what I have done, or not know what to do. So again, I would still love suggestions. Or at least ideas. I have a saying that I always like to say where something is better than nothing. I'm sure it's been said before in other shows, but it's not my own, but it's still fun to think of something better than nothing. It's a good motto, I think. Like, even if you can't do anything, something is better than nothing. Which is something I'd love to be doing at a constant, but I apparently don't. So here's something interesting. During the tower, I had originally thought that these little floors and these little indentations of the dark oak compared to the pale oak would look really cool. And turns out I was wrong. It looks kind of cool, but it's just eh. And then I may just be spoiling everything for later, but later I try to deconstruct the tower and remake it to like a swirl. You know, like the lighthouses have a little swirl, goes up and makes it look real pretty. I made a lighthouse once. It was nice. Maybe that's what I should do for a video. Showcase all the things that I've built in the past. Because there's a crap ton of stuff I've built in the past that's taken me hours upon hours to make. Like, I got a Halloween palace, I got floating islands with pirate ships, and granted, this is all in creative mode. But it still takes me a very long time to make some things by hand. Because I'm on console edition, and, you know, console edition, I don't really know how to do commands. Like, of course, if you're on PC, you have, like, the ability to copy and paste coordinates. You know, you have a magic wands tool that we don't get. And, well, I'm sure I can manually or commandly fill. I don't know how to do that. So I just built everything by hand. I once built a tower, and there's the snow. I once built a tower that I was super proud of, but it looked so boring. It was literally just a building that was 20 by 20. And it had blocks of iron as the framework, and then glass for the rest of everything else. And then I did eventually fill every floor with quartz and glowstone, but it looked so terrible. So yeah. About that world though is that eventually during the transition from old Minecraft to new Minecraft, I believe there was an error in like something, so all my floor work had been erased. So I had to do all that again. But fun fact, I did not do all that again. I instead made the glass like rainbow and called it the Pride Tower. And I started on an entirely different project, which I'm even more proud of, that I could show sometime, because I'm much more happy with the project that I took like a few feet next to it than the original project. And the project that I took was a steampunk-esque building where the outside was copper, which I forgot to wax. Oh no, I'm thinking of an entirely different build. I once made an airship with copper, an abundance of copper, which I forgot to wax, and then had to... I think I commandly replaced all the waxed, or the unwaxed to the waxed. Here I am questioning where their trader is, because I didn't do anything to him. But I had made a tower, and it's so much more expansive, it's so much more pretty. I could potentially show images, but I'd much rather just save it for later. But I'm so much more proud of those towers, and I had a plan to make it an entire city, like just a little steampunk city that I would absolutely steal ideas from, or at least put my ideas into, because I thought it would look really cool. But I haven't had the time nor the motivation to try and make another one of those, even though I'm super proud of the first one. I made a second one, which looks really cool as well. I believe it's shorter than my first one, but both of them have little airship landing pods on the top of them. Pads, not pods. God. But I'm super proud of them both. I really like them. Another one of my more prouder builds is the floating islands I was talking about, which looks super natural, and it's like, you know, airship pirate-esque and such. But I did make some ships there. One of them I'm super proud of because it was the copper one, and super big, and it has an actual full interior, but it's very wide, or very thick. One of those two. I know previously I'd said that I started Minecraft by making ships, and whilst that is true, I never actually fully interiored them. I basically made a little deck, and then the underside was meant to be a ship, and then nothing else. But I have improved so much upon that, that now I try to do more realistic looking ships. I've gone back to the Pirate of the Caribbean. Oh, it is Pirates of the Caribbean. My brain's not working. Anyway, I've gone back to Pirates of the Caribbean world from the older Minecraft just to get reference photos for ships I could potentially make. Because I want to try and make more realistic looking ships. But I also do love my older ships, and I'm proud of those older ships because that's what really started me into making Minecraft builds, is ships. Which is interesting because you'd think like, oh, towers and houses would be your introduction. Mine was boats. I like boats. I also tried to make trains once. I'm not going to talk about that because those were not good trains. Or actually, I made one that looked really big, and I haven't made a train since. I tried making a trade once in an entirely new builds world, which is what I called one of my first worlds, with many things. Like there was a town hall, a library, and all that sort of stuff. Was a flat world with a village, and I called it builds because whatever I thought of, I would put it there. Eventually, I got really tired of the flatland though, so I've made an entirely new builds world that I'm even more proud of, because I've taken a hill that was entirely a dark forest, and I've terraformed it so much that it has like little areas, little places for buildings, and it's all with stone brick walls along with dark oak floors, like for the entire thing. On the top is a church that I'm super proud of. It's like one of my more prouder builds. And yeah, that world is entirely for me to think of random things I want to put on that hill and put it there. I also tried to make another floating island, which is something I technically completed. It's literally just one plane of grass with an entire Capitol building, which I'm also super proud of because it's so big. I like making big buildings. The only issue is that I can't do interior work for crap. I kind of suck at interior work, but the church is something I'm absolutely proud of because that interior work is so much better than everything else, because it was made with someone in mind, and that someone wanted it to be super naturalistic and, you know, full of nature and things. So I made it that way, and it felt really natural and lovely to be in, and I was so excited to experience it in shaders, and it looked so beautiful in shaders. It was just amazing. Could I please not fall off my own house? I think this is that one time, or this is a representation of that one time where I didn't like snow, because it got everywhere, and as you can see as an example here, I just keep falling and can't get to certain places because it's snowing quite a lot. Also, don't worry for anyone, I do eventually fix that little thing right there in that roof. Or I could fix it like that. You know, yeah, that works as well. Yeah, because that bothered me. Powdered snow. Gets everywhere. Like sand, but cleaner. This isn't powdered snow. This is just regular snow. I don't know where powdered snow is coming from. This is regular snow. This regular snow from the snow is going everywhere. Good job, me. Yeah. I would absolutely love to showcase previous builds that I've been super proud of. Like, half of them don't have interiors, but I don't care because I'm really happy with them. Like, a few of those builds do have interiors, but they're like small interiors that don't even encapsulate the entire build. Oh. That's the end. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully next time I'll be able to actually finish that building. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you next time.